Hi, how you doing? And welcome back to the video on the channel. So we've got our preview of Game Week 10. Gonna have a quick review of Game Week 9, how it's going for my team, and my thoughts for the week ahead. So if you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. Had some great support recently, and we are trying to get to 100 subscribers at some point during the season. So if you can help with that, that would be great. And let's get into it. So we're gonna get my team up on the board here. And it was a pretty good game week, really. I mean, as per usual, the keepers didn't really do much. But from a defensive point of view, I did manage to get 3 clean sheets. Matty Cash was unfortunate to lose his, but overall, the double Newcastle defence is paying off. Jamal Lascelles, it was 3.9 million when I picked him up. That does look to be a pretty good move, but I am considering swapping him out in the future game weeks because Newcastle's fixtures kind of turn a bit. And if Botman comes back, Lascelles isn't going to be worth it, especially with my weak bench. But the midfield really did kick on for me this week. Son and Salah, massive returns. Didn't captain either of them, but we'll talk about that in a second. Saka managed to get an assist. Diaby, it's unfortunate if Villa score 4 goals and Diaby doesn't get a goal and an assist. That was disappointing. But up front, Haaland did return, and so did Watkins. So I am okay with captaining Haaland, really. I know Son and Salah and Watkins outscored him this game week, but for me, as long as I own those players, I'm not really going to fall too far behind because Haaland is going to be massively owned. Whereas if I did captain Son and Salah, or either one, and Haaland did score a lot, there's such a high ownership still of Haaland and captainers that it will mean that you drop rank quite significantly compared to if you'd done it the other way around. But at this early stage of the season, especially with, I'm super happy with my rank, like 80k is fantastic. There's no real need for me to take that risk. So there is the potential for more points, but it's that risk to reward that we've talked about in previous videos that I'm not willing to move away from just yet. So onto the fixtures for this game week, and as we get them up on the board, we're going to start with Crystal Palace and Spurs. So it is a Friday night deadline this game week. Super important to remember that when you've got Friday deadlines, that you really are supposed to be not trying to get caught out by that. And it should be a good fixture for Spurs. I do believe if Spurs win, they are going to go 5 points clear before any other teams play, which is a real big motivating factor, I think, for them to win it. On Saturday, we start with Chelsea Brentford. I mean, if you've still got some Chelsea players, maybe you're looking at this, but for a lot of us, I think we've moved on from that. And the 3 o'clock kickoffs, just a couple on Saturday. Arsenal against Sheffield United is really one to target. I think from a defensive point of view, if you've got players that are playing Sheffield United, they're probably not going to score, even if apart from if the Man United defenders like I had. But the fixtures for the rest of the weekend do look pretty good. Sunday is absolutely rammed, capped off by that Man United Man City fixture to finish. That is one that could go either way from a defensive point of view. You would expect there to be goals. You would also expect Man City to win. I think I am going to stick with captaining Haaland because I do think, Man United's defence is not great. Man City, they're not having to travel far, still in Manchester. So I do think Haaland is the go to person. I mean, you could also make cases for Son and Salah. Anything from those three, I'm sure will get you attacking returns. But for me, it would be Haaland. So onto my team for this game week, and we're going to start with talking about the goalkeepers. I'm not too fussed really in terms of moving on because I know Nana has Man City this game week, but after that he's got Fulham, Luton, and Everton in the next 3 game weeks following. So for me, I'm thinking, well, if I was to pick 3 fixtures for a goalkeeper to play against, I probably wouldn't go too far away from Fulham, Luton, and Everton in terms of their weak attacks. So I am happy to stick with him this game week and just accept that he could get even a minus score. I don't really like the look of Turner away at Liverpool either. But stranger things have happened than Man United beating Man City. So you never know. The rest of the defence looks pretty good. I'm happy with the Newcastle game. Aston Villa have Luton at home, and Spurs have Palace away, like we said. So all of those defences, I look at it and think, well, they could all get a clean sheet this game week. The main issue for me is that if Botman comes back for Lascelles, so I do have 2 free transfers to use, so I could look at upgrading Lascelles to Botman. but it doesn't look like he's coming back till November. Other than that, I kind of don't really know where to upgrade my team. I think I would like to have a look at Mitoma. I think he's a good option because Brighton's fixtures turn. But Villa, the player I would take out for him would be Diaby. But Villa's fixtures have Luton, Forest, Fulham, and Bournemouth in the next five. I could also get in a Brighton defender for Lascelles. I think that Newcastle's fixtures are getting a little bit tricky, as are Spurs. I think Spurs, they've got Palace and Wolves two out of the next three. And then you've got, from a defensive point of view, not great fixtures. You've got Chelsea, Villa, Man City, West Ham, and Newcastle, all in kind of like a bunch. So that is another option to kind of maybe downgrade Pedro Porro to a Brighton defender. I know they've not kept a clean sheet, or upgrade Lascelles to Sven Botman when he comes back. But I've kind of got a transfer to use this game week. I don't really want to burn it. Another area I could look at addressing is the bench. I know Lamptey and Chukwuemeka are injured at the moment, and Mubama isn't actually playing. So for me, that is somewhere where I could maybe upgrade, but then I don't want to tie up too many funds on the bench if I don't need to. I've not really got any injuries at the moment in my starting 11. So I'd really, if you've got any ideas on what I could do, appreciate it. If you've got any questions for me, let me know. But yeah, like I said, super happy with how the season's going so far. Not even a third of the way through yet, so that is something to keep in mind that there is a long way to go. But as the team stands, it looks pretty good to me. Don't really need to see any major changes in the near future. If you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. Good luck in this game week as well. We are starting to get into the bit in the middle of the FPL season, so hopefully you've got a rank you're happy with, or at least you know where you're going with your team. So thanks very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.